So I'm going to be covering 3 types of AI offer that you can sell, or like 3 main ones. The way and reason I say selling them separately is more as a entry point. I'm not saying people can't sell entire systems at one time, but I'm just simply saying, like, in this kind of course, I'm just going to show you how you can break it down into like micro pieces to be more targeted, so the conversion is going to be better. There's a big difference trying to teach someone about an entire system. There's a lot of there's a high barrier to entry when it comes to education. When it comes to selling like a specific AI assistant, it's much easier to target pain point, to show them ROI, to generate lead magnets for the pain point based on that specific AI, so on and so forth. So on this one, we have the speed to lead. So this is going to be mainly targeting people that are running ads or some kind of heavy organic push. So organic or ads traffic to a form submission or their Instagram DMs or their Facebook DMs or whatever it may be. This is a really good way to fix like the leaky bucket. So if you're pouring these into a bucket, or you're pouring water into a bucket, and there's holes in the bucket, then you don't want to keep pouring water in the bucket. Similarly, is when you're spending ads, like for example 5k on ads per month, you could be losing like over half your leads through just inability to see necessary response time for those leads. Now it's actually quite an easy setup. I will go through the setup in a different video. The speed to lead is very simple. It takes 3 to 4 hours, depending on like the information. Obviously, it always depends on like what they actually want. But if it's nothing too crazy, 3 to 4 hours is realistic. External to the A2P setup, which can take a week. But either way, like the A2P is going to be like the slowest thing, not the AI development. And so it's really easy for a client to jump on board with this kind of thing. The main way to kind of price this, and again, like there's always flexibility. It depends on context, like you know the person, how well known you are, how complicated the bill is, but I've kind of given a rough breakdown, so price things as you see fit. Now the big thing we need to think about is that actually the complexity does differ based on what the AI is doing. So you can talk about the entry level, which is like a simple singular booking, so like real estate. Booking a real estate lead is like really easy. It's just a multi-calendar for a single, they're not going to go, I need 27 different services like a med spa. With this you can do like 997 one time and then 297 or 497 unlimited AI responses, and with this you can actually have, like as I said, like the AI minutes and the AI text for rebilling, so you can make your markup on the rebilling. Now could you in theory charge a different business 3k? Sure, you could charge 3k and then give them 3 months free. It's up to you. I have got a little singular page document about if you're first starting out, like the best thing to do, because this is more like generalistic pricing strategies. But if you don't yet have a client, then obviously I have another module which I teach in terms of like the best way to go about that. Now you also have multi-form. So multi-form is like a med spa. So when you're booking like 15, 20 services, 25 or more, this takes a lot more testing, and a lot more prompt checking to ensure that the AI does what it does to a high degree of accuracy, where if the accuracy or the degree of accuracy isn't 100%, you might have to create other back-end workflows to send them a booking link, or do a warm handover or whatever it may be with custom tools. But again, then you can increase the price of your setup fee to like 1.5k, 2.5k. Again, this pricing is more like fair pricing. If you want to add a premium on top, that's absolutely fine. And then again, you can do your 397, 497, whatever it may be. You can then have, which is dependent on the industry, like a performance-based alternative. So it's like a lower setup, and then you can just charge like almost a percentage of like the sale from the ad, or like $20 for an appointment. So if you've got like high foot traffic, like a nail salon or a med spa, and every time you can attribute a booking from an ad, you get $20, $30, whatever it may be, that can be also helpful. Although again, for simplicity and scale, I would definitely recommend these two, kind of like the per month sort of thing. Now in terms of when you want to psychologically nail them, is you can, instead of just saying like, speed to lead, you can anchor it with like the waste of their current effort. So if someone's bleeding, you're going to want to put a plaster on it. It's going to be like, wait for it to bleed out, it's carry on, who cares? That's usually the fact that they just need to be educated into like, that is a problem, because they don't necessarily know that is a problem. So when you know that the reality is most people don't contact leads fast enough, it's like paying insurance on your ad spend. So let's say they're spending $397, $497 a month. Even if the average lead cost is like $100, it's 4 to 5 leads for the entire month, extra secured to just pay for the cost. And that's, guaranteed. Running that 24/7 with your forever follow-up is definitely a guarantee. You can include like a certain amount of leads free in the trial, and then you can just throw in added value, right? So you can just say, hey, like on top of this, we'll do like an audit of your ads and improve your ad copy, and you can just use our copywriting module to improve their copy. Like there's a bunch of stuff you can do, which is value stacking. Now I might have done things a bit back to front, but I'm just going to go a bit deeper into like what like the actual value in numbers behind speed to lead. So the average response time across industry is like 47 hours. 73 roughly percent of those are never contacted. And there's a there's a statistical proven study that if you reply within 1 minute, the conversion increases by 391%. So when I just told you, if you have a lead and you're spending as an insurance on your ad spend, hey, if you're spending 5k a month, protect that money, because right now things are more competitive than ever. You're having to increase the ad spend to get the same amount of clients that you used to do a year ago. How about instead of increasing your ad spend, you can now get more clients without increasing the ad spend, which is like a double win. Now, the expectation is like the golden minute. So people actually expect to reply within 5 to 10 minutes before they start getting bored. Obviously, the industry averages is around 47 hours. That does depend. E-commerce faster. But obviously, best practice is within that first golden minute. AI can do that 24/7 across multi-channel. You then have this lead decay value hype. Now, when a prospect submits their interest, this is like within the customer decision-making process, the highest point of like getting them to trigger a purchase or a decision to be made, like impulsively, especially with like cheaper products. Like with a car, you're not going to impulsively buy a car. But when it comes to like booking a hair appointment, booking nails, booking a med spa, whatever it may be, that's usually a lot higher. And similarly with houses, if you see a house on offer or you want to sell your house, like that's usually quite impulsive. I won't say impulsive, but it's a lot of thought. The process occurred way before they submitted that form. So this isn't about like having the best offer. It's about being present when decisions are made. So you can kind of highlight to clients, it's not like a nice to have, it's literally an insurance, because as you see, within 10 minutes the drop in like conversion is like 80%, and after a day, 9 times out of 10 the customer's gone, unless it's an existing customer. New customer acquisition is gone, and you'll see like this massive drop off on conversion. So again, that's why you have that 1 minute compared to what they're doing, you can literally guarantee results. So you can just see here in terms of numbers, like given an average number, let's say I think that's like an average customer value of like $125, $150. If you spend $5,000 on ad spend and you have like a 70% bleed, you're losing like 40k in revenue, but you're only going to be getting paid like 4 or 5k. So they're making like 40k in like such a simple decision that can take a week to implement. That's not including like database reactivation and like receptionist. Like you can probably get a good $100,000 of saving from AI. And here's another great visual where you can very clearly see the same amount of leads generated, instead of 2 can be converted, is 15. So you can start leveraging like that, get more leads for the same ad spend using this method. Go calculate your savings, whatever it may be. And I was doing some research on some cool data, and actually, of the 73% who respond, those that do respond only respond via email, and only 8% via call, and only 4% omni-channel. So with AI, you can literally reply on SMS, you can reply on WhatsApp, you can reply on voice, you can reply on Instagram, you can reply on Facebook. And so you're going to be, as a business, being able to stand out significantly when you're using AI compared to someone who's just using like email or like manual automation. And so that's it. This is really how like more like positioning of like what is speed to lead, why is it needed, what's the use case of it, like all these kind of questions, and also about the pricing. I will provide more of a grey label in terms of you can give to clients to kind of educate them on what that is. I'll probably give it as a package to teach businesses the use case of speed to lead, reactivation, and receptionist, just so you can send it in one. And in later modules I can kind of show you how to actually use copy to play with this, and as well as funnel as well. But the reality is you can pick one offer and just go really hard on it, whether it's cold email, DM, and ads, and just stick to that specific offer. Because at the end of the day, like you'll be able to target a specific segment of the market, whereas most agencies right now just sell AI as like this all singing, all dancing, does everything thing. I don't think I've seen an ad once yet that talks about the golden minute and not responding to ads. So this is a perfect one to go after and really simple to implement, and that'll be later on in the course.